Oh, nobody, my God. No messages here for billionaires. Why are you at the Super Growth Summit? Me, me. Of course, of course, of course, of course, of course. You want to be a billionaire, 100%. Absolutely. All of us here are at the Super Growth Summit because we want to grow. Financially, we want to grow. Personally, we want to grow. In a profession and a career, we want to grow. That's why it's called the Super Growth Summit. Somebody said, why not? 100%, sir. Why not? Why not be a billionaire? But there was this billionaire, made it there.
We just, yes. Yes,
There
Gaur
we,
Gopalji, you're back.
there we
Yes,
go.
you're back.
Okay, brilliant. So he was sitting in a restaurant, this billionaire, for dinner one evening. He was by himself, evening time, just went out for dinner, fancy restaurant, expensive restaurant, billionaire after all. And he saw his friend walking in to the same restaurant. He hadn't seen this friend in years. He immediately walked up to his friend and said, would you like to join me for dinner? I'm just sitting here by myself. Let's catch up. So both the friends sat there taking dinner together. And as they were taking dinner, they were catching up with what had happened in these years. And this guy asked the billionaire, what are you doing these days? The billionaire said, well, after I retired from the army, I started a company and my company is doing really well and it's given me a lot. And yes, doing very well in my business. The billionaire asked, what are you doing? He said, when after I retired from the army, I'm looking for a job, an opportunity because there are a lot of financial troubles and liabilities. The billionaire said, why do you have to go hunting for a job? You're my friend. I can give you a job. Come to my office tomorrow and no need to give an interview. I know you. We can hire you. This friend said to this billionaire friend, he said, we went to the same school. We went to the same army training college before joining the army. We passed out together. We joined the army together. We were posted in the same battalion all through our tenure in the army. We were together in the same battalion. In fact, we retired out of the army together. Today, you are a billionaire. And I'm just making the ends meet, struggling hard, looking for an opportunity, grateful for the opportunity you're sharing. But how did this happen? The billionaire took him down the memory lane while they were still in the army, posted in the Himalayan mountains when it was snowing terribly bad. It was freezing cold, -6, -8 degrees below zero. And guys, listen to the story carefully, because this story can definitely change. If you can think like this, if you can align yourself with what this billionaire said, your growth is 200% certain. Might take time, because every good thing takes time. Every successful endeavor takes time, but it's certain. The billionaire said to his friend, do you remember one night when we were posted up there in the Himalayan mountains at the border? It was freezing, -8 degrees Celsius. We were both out there in the freezing cold. It was snowing terribly bad. And we got back to our camp, to a little tent. It was night, about 12:30 in the midnight. We made ourselves a hot cup of tea, and while we were still drinking tea and eating some snacks, I remember we were talking, and suddenly in the middle of our talk, we realized that the pump at the site where we were posted, we had forgotten to switch off the pump and forgotten to switch off the lights. Could be a signal to the army on the other side of the border. When I said we should go and turn it off, you remember what you said? You say it's not going to be much of an issue. The motor won't get spoiled till tomorrow morning and the light's not going to do any harm. After all, sarkar ka paisa hai, sarkar ka hai, theek hai. Do you remember? You went to sleep. I put my shoes on. I put two coats on, put my hats on, went there, turned the motor off, turned the switch off, and came back and slept in our cab. The billionaire said something very revealing. He said, you know what, my dear friend? On that day, you were a slave, and even today, you continue to be a slave. On that day, I was the owner, and today, I continue to be the owner of a successful business. A slave mentality is, चलता है ना, बंद नहीं किया बटन तो चलता है, बंद नहीं किया मोटर तो चलता है, बंद नहीं किया लाइट तो चलता है. And an owner mentality is, I take ownership and responsibility. I walk the extra mile when it's not expected of me. I walk the extra mile to turn the button off. I walk the extra mile to turn the motor off. I walk the extra mile to turn the light off. Because I walked the extra mile when I was working, when I started a business, I walked the extra mile. Because you didn't walk the extra mile when you were doing the job, when you started your business, you didn't walk that extra mile, and you will never grow if you do not walk the extra mile. Nobody is going to grow if you do not walk that extra mile. Are you a slave or are you the owner? If you're a slave, you're in the mentality, चलता है, वो नहीं बंद किया तो चलता है. जॉब है ना, कंपनी का पैसा है, कंपनी का इंटरनेट है, कंपनी का लैपटॉप है, कंपनी का इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है, भाड़ में जाने दो ना यार ये सब. If you're in that mentality, company ka hai na, when you start your company, you will have the same mentality. If you can't walk that extra mile to save that internet space, to save that electricity, to turn that button off, in your own life, you won't do that because it's a mentality. And which is why the ownership mentality is what's required for super growth. Taking responsibility, walking that extra mile. आपको क्या लगता है बिलियनर ऐसा क्या बगीचे में उगते हैं? Those who have gone to the next level of their growth in whatever they do are the ones who walk, not the extra mile. They walk the extra billions of miles. And you walk the extra billions of miles by taking ownership for everything in every aspect of your life, is when you go to become a billionaire, guys. The other day, we filmed a certain video, a promo video, and our team was showing it to me. And I saw in that video, there was a particular footage which was not completely relevant. They had to have me in that footage. And they didn't have the resource to film it. Wasn't their problem. They just didn't have the resource to film that shot. When they showed me, we were thinking, chalta hai bolenge na, so we'll probably be good. If we walk the extra mile, we'll be great. The slave mentality can at best make you a little good. The ownership mentality will take you from good to great. So guess what? As soon as this is over, we are going to be shooting that. We are going to be shooting that shot in that particular clip that we made. चलता नहीं है, मुझे भी नहीं चलता है और मेरी टीम को भी नहीं चलता है. जब चलता है ना, चलेगा ये. लोग देखने वाले किसको समझेगा ये क्लिप है, किसको ही फर्क पड़ेगा इतना है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. चलता है ना, क्या फर्क पड़ता है ना, तो बिलियन में भी चलेगा ना, फिर रोज इधर रहना है ना, फिर ग्रोथ नहीं होगा ना, फिर बिलियनर के पास अपने दोस्त के पास जाके भीख मांग के जॉब मांगना पड़ेगा ना. Guys, that ownership is what takes us from good to great in terms of our growth. And therefore, at the Super Growth Summit here, I want to tell you from the story the second very powerful lesson. We want to move from good to great, move from the slave mentality to the ownership mentality. Move from the chalta hai to the chalta nahi hai, karna hai, karenge, We will not settle down for anything less than the best. Keep walking and we'll get there. Conclusively, we are in the month of June 2023, guys. 6 महीना हो गया. अभी आ जाएगा January 2024, just in a couple of months. And guess what? I always say in Sanskrit there is a term called Simhavalokan. Simhavalokan means when a lion is moving ahead, the lion will look behind. Simha avalokanam. जब भी सिंह आगे देखता है तो पहले पीछे देखता है. And when the lion looks behind, you know what the lion sees? The lion looks at all the distance that it's covered, its track record in overcoming all the obstacles. When you see that, that lion sees that I've overcome so many obstacles, gets confidence. Aage bhi kar lunga. Ahead, I'm marching ahead. I can get there too with confidence and hope because I've covered all these obstacles. I also know that this obstacle, this has worked. So even now in the future, when such obstacles come, I can learn and I can work on these things. But the lion also sees what could have possibly gone wrong. The mistakes that it made up until this point that it's come to. Because now in the future, ahead, when the lion looks ahead, correct those mistakes and go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 ke 6 mahine ho gaye. Become a lion today. Let the Super Growth Summit not just be an online series of lectures that you think, acha tha, good point, nice point, sir, we enjoyed, nice, we learned, and then you forget it all. What I want all of you to do this evening, when you log off the Super Growth Summit, is do a little bit of introspection and reflection. It's the 17th of June, 2023. Be a lion today. Look back into the last 6 months. See what are the obstacles you have overcome to reach wherever you are today. Feel confidence from that. See how did you overcome those obstacles? Learn lessons from that. See what went right. Refine it and take it into the future 6 months till 2024. See what went wrong. Rectify it, redefine it, rework on it, and see how you can move on. 6 महीने और बाकी है दोस्तों. ये 6 महीने के बाद रिग्रेट करने का चांस नहीं मिलना चाहिए. Don't wait till December to say अभी क्या करूं, कुछ हुआ नहीं. It's still mid-year and you can definitely work on your trajectory so that 2024, when you enter into it, it's going to be, if not 100% close to your dreams, even if you come 20%, 10% close to your dreams, guys, it's a huge leap towards where you want to be in your life. So conclusively, 3 things. Number 1, as we heard, very, very important, crucial, be very firm in your principles and values and flexible in your beliefs, strategies, plans, products, services, lighthouse, and the river. Remember, skill and challenge to be in alignment in order to have your flow state. That is when ideas, innovations, creativity, impact, contribution, you will be in your best form in that flow state. Number 3, do not allow any idiot to talk you out of the idea that you truly believe in and you truly connect with when you're in your flow state. Number 4, take ownership, walk the extra mile, because it isn't that extra mile that makes you an owner, not a slave. Chalta hai, out of the window. Chal jayega, out of the window. Karna hai, karte rahenge, aage badhenge. And last but not the least, be a lion, look behind for the last 6 months. Learn the lessons from what went wrong and right. Repeat the right, correct, redefine, rework on whatever went wrong. Feel confidence. That 6 महीने में यहाँ तक तो आए हैं ना, आगे 6 महीने में अच्छी तरीके से काम करेंगे. 2024 में एटलीस्ट 10% बेटर होके जाना है. गोल रखेंगे 100% का, 30-40% भी आगे बढ़े, 10-15% भी आगे बढ़े. We're going to be closer to our goal. Once again, thanks to Suren, Praveen, and the Success Gyan team for having me over. And thank you all very much for being with us this evening. Thank you all very much. Have a great evening and wish you all the best.